Well, there we were. Got a new weapon. That was the shining example of how good a Prime release actually could be, even if the frame is a mid-tier frame, right? Hi, I'm Goat. Welcome back to Warframe. Quick special talk here. We got hotfix 39.1.2 today. And guess what we got? We got this bullshit. Yeah, we got that. So, fixed Vidaria Prime's chain lightning being able to be triggered recursively off of blast status effects, leading to substantial performance issues. Blast status effects were unintentionally being considered as another hit from the Vidaria Prime, which would trigger more chain lightning, which would trigger more blast status effects, and so on and so on. So, basically, if there were enough enemies to continue the chaining event, it led to significant game performance issues. How is that a me problem? Okay. The basis of blast status in the game, since blast status was fixed, was to cause an area of effect to status proc more enemies, right? So, how is that a me problem? Right? Yeah, I can understand like consoles probably had an issue with that. I know that it tried to lag out when I got really nutty with it. It tried to lag out my motherfucking 5070 Pro, you know, GPU in my computer. So yeah, I understand that it was like frame rate dropping. But to take away the function of what the best thing about the Prime release does on this particular thing, now it only takes away half of its use. I just want to put that out there. Because the other thing that they did do, okay, is that they at least did this, fixed towards Vidaria Prime's chain lightning not jumping to enemies out of line of sight. But if they're going to completely gut the blast status effect, actually spreading it out, because if you think about it, Toxic Clash doesn't apply, Zada's Whisper doesn't apply, Araxia's Toxic Imbuement does not apply, you know, so basically almost nothing from any other frame would help apply extra damage from the lightning bolt. So it was just this pure damage hit and that was it. So blast status was pretty much the only thing that would allow for other enemies to be triggering the lightning attack, because the lightning attack in itself is extremely random and we're given zero information about this. Now what I mean specifically, like I said in the video that I literally just shot last night, okay? So what I mean specifically is when you give us basic information, okay, and I mean basic in the most loosest sense possible. When you give us information that says creates a conductive sphere around the target with a chance to spawn up to 3 lightning strikes on random nearby targets, strike scales with mods, right? So we don't know what that chance is. So we have no percentage to tell us what that chance is. We might get 3 lightning bolts. And, you know, the damage scales with, you know, with the mods that you've got applied to the weapon. Fair enough, right? Like all I've done is rearrange the configurations. Haven't changed anything else. So we took away the ability of blast damage spreading the lightning bolts around. So now the blast builds that were working really fucking good with this weapon, now we got to go back to the drawing board on. Like, I haven't even tested it. Well, let's go, you know what? Let's just use fucking Caliban. Let's go find out. I literally logged in, saw the update coming, so let's just go look. Because I could be spitting out of my ass right now. So this is just on camera, have not tested shit, just read the patch notes and went, what the fuck? So let's go look at Caliban and this thing, right? Because we're going to pause the AI, we're going to shoot a motherfucker. Actually, hold on. I was dicking around with some more builds, but for old Caliban, trying to do a summoner build for the Sentients, which was actually working pretty good, but we'll stick with Roar. Roar's what we tested with before, and you can see I did the Aura Forma, you know, from the Caliban video. I did the Aura Forma, so I ended up with 4 because I really wanted to make sure I had enough space to really kind of wiggle the build around a lot. But yeah, no, we're gonna stick with this, okay? We're gonna stick with this. We'll even use Roar since I'm not using a faction mod. You know what, fuck it. We're not gonna use the Ortholis. I just want to see what this thing does. Okay, so let's just see. Yeah, see, no. So the lightning bolt's still erratic, so now we'll use Roar. No lightning. We got lightning that time. But see, the blast triggered there. So what the fuck are we talking about here? Oh, don't worry, we're gonna do more. Okay. So now that we know that that's a thing, so now we'll do this. Oh, that was a quick shot. Still intermittent as shit. But the blast, taking the blast as the extra instance of weapon damage, that's kind of some bullshit. So, yeah, I'm gonna go and work with some other builds now. Because that's some nonsense. Just saying, I mean, if it's going to trigger randomly anyway, and blast is, like, intermittently going to do a thing instead of actually doing a thing, then maybe we'll come over here and, I don't know, modify the viral build, I guess? Yeah, I'm play around with this a little bit more, and we'll see if we can't, have something that plays nice. Because that, in my opinion, I mean, when you give a weapon that kind of function, and I'm sure people have been raving about this thing, to be honest. So the fact that they're giving it that kind of function, and then to immediately, you know, about 36 hours after the release because of performance issues, instead of just changing the graphics of you know, what the unique effect does, we're just going to take it away because, you know, it's easier. Does that make any sense to anybody else? Like, again, does it feel like it? I love digital extremes. I really do. But sometimes when they nerf something, they nerf it with such a heavy hand. Okay, they really do. Sometimes it's fine. Like, legit. Sometimes it is 100% fine. Other times it's like, guys, what the hell are we doing? Because again, I mean, like, blast status effects were unintentionally being considered as another hit from the Vidaria Prime, which is incorrect. Okay, if you mod the weapon for blast, the AoE from the blast is an intentional, you know, it's an intentional hit from the weapon, albeit it's a status effect and the status is very low. So I could see them triggering it down to match the status, you know, the status percentage. Sure, 100%. But to just basically say, no, this doesn't work anymore. Well, obviously it still kind of does. But if you're going to cut this down, at least give us more clear-cut information as to how exactly this unique status effect actually works, right? I don't know. Back to the drawing board a little bit here, because we're going to make this work, because I really like this gun. But this is just kind of another one of those instances of, why in the fuck are we being so heavy-handed with this? You know? Like, something was working. It was finally a sniper rifle that was really, like, good to use. You know? Like, something, you know, and, like, the charge mechanic was the crappiest thing about the weapon so far. That, or, you know, the flakiness of the unique status of the unique trait of the weapon. But to really just kind of come in with a sledgehammer on the one thing that was making the weapon work very well, that just seems a little bit of overkill. So, I don't know, man. Y'all tell me. So, anyway, thanks very much for watching. Catch you in the next one.